I got bored waiting for Cyclops to be added into Marvel Rivals, and after some transcendental brainstorming, I had conjured up my take on how I would like to see one of the most anticipated heroes in all of Marvel Rivals to be added to the game. We're going to be going deep into the rabbit hole, and we're going to be talking about weapons, abilities, team-ups, and more. So stay tuned and let me know your thoughts in the comments if I missed anything maybe, or you'd like to see him come differently to the game at all. So if you clicked on this video, I'ma presume you know who Cyclops is, but if not, I'll sum it up real quick. Cyclops' real name is Scott Summers, and he has mutant powers that allow him to shoot a beam of destructive energy from his eyes. Now, personally speaking, I can't see a world where Cyclops isn't a duelist. And if I'm playing Cyclops, I don't want to be supporting my team. I want to be shooting fat beams of destruction aimed at no particular creature whatsoever. Massive shout out to Dave Herzen for this fantastic interpretation of Cyclops in the Rivals style. If you're interested in seeing the best Marvel Rival character designs on the internet right now, this is your guy. If this video gets good feedback, I'll even commission a piece from him for a future video. We have a role for our laser dude, and some great imagery to help our imagination. Now onto the start of his kit and his primary weapon. Now, I don't think I really need to even clarify what this will be, but just for those that maybe aren't in the loop, it's his iconic attack, Glock 19. Bust the motherfucking cap in the air. Okay, we all know it's his laser eyes. Optic Energy Blast. Charge and fire a long-range beam after a short delay. I was trying to think of a good comparison to make here, and the first thing that came to mind was Bebop from Deadlock. Just the wind-up he gets, plus his weapon, it's a fucking laser. So after a short delay and a warning indicated by Cyclops' visor starting to glow red, this attack would fire a beam capable of outputting very high amounts of DPS, even from mid to long range. If you're pushing an objective defended by Cyclops, it would be in your best interest to not ignore him and make shutting him down a priority, as he would rack up some insane damage numbers over the course of a team fight. His primary weapon would be formidable and above average when compared to other duelists' damage output. To balance this, Cyclops would be very squishy and have a below average health pool, likely even lower than the standard 250 found on most duelists. Now, onto our first actual ability in Cyclops' kit. Back when I was doing my executive investigation into our character, a specific scene really caught my eye. It was from the animated series X-Men 97. It was early on in the show when he was fighting some goons in a warehouse and was actually using the concussive force of his power to traverse the area. The first thing I thought to myself was, fuck, that is cool. But the second thing I thought to myself was, god damn NetEase, if you don't include this as part of his kit, it would be an actual criminal crime. It would be a crime, just straight up a crime. I'd be so pissed about it, I'd actually consider reinstalling Overwatch. Okay, you may have called my bluff there. I do not hate myself that much. Jesus, no way. Blast Slide. Shoot a precision blast from your visor, sliding you backwards. Now, when I initially was thinking of this ability, I thought about it being a skill with like charges maybe 2 or 3 charges. Then I thought to myself, fuck you, this is Marvel Rivals, have it be metered and give the players more freedom and skill expression with their character, and more importantly, it would be more fun. You'd have the option to blow your load all at once, traversing a really large distance very fast, or mix it in with your primary and use it to dodge enemy attacks like he does in X-Men 97. The speed of what you move would depend on where you shoot. The further the target, the slower the slide, because physics, I don't know. Shoot a Venom that's so close that you can smell his breath, you can bet you're making some distance from him, or just aim down a bit and hit the floor and use that to propel you instead. Also, yes, this ability would do damage, dealing slightly higher damage than his primary at very close range, but quickly dropping off to far below it as your opponent loses distance from you. Altogether, this ability would theoretically give Cyclops the option to play in a more open space and with his team instead of just being limited to sitting on the high ground like a glorified Inferno tower. Now, a little less exciting, but definitely a welcome addition to his kit, Tactical Roll. Simply roll in the direction of movement. Great for dodging, repositioning, and an amazing lifeline if you get a little too excited and run out of juice on your blast slide. Even better, use it in conjunction with your blast slide to outmaneuver and outplay your opponent, using it to quickly change your trajectory. With characters like Spooderman and Wakanda Forever in the game, you need all the help you can get, especially with a low HP pool like our character here, Cyclops. We're going to quickfire these next two as they are rather self-explanatory, and I want to get to the team-ups and his ultimate ability without dragging out the video too much. Blinding Flash. In a small cone, perform a flash attack with your visor, briefly blinding enemies facing in your direction. Just one last tool to help against dive heroes and potentially giving you just enough time to either escape with Blast Slide or clutch up the 1v1. Mantle Wall. When against a wall too high to jump, grab the ledge and pull yourself up. This one is more so a quality of life ability. First of all, every other duelist in the game has a way to get onto high ground, so you know, maybe NetEase knows something I don't. So, you know, fuck this. Second, he's from the fucking X-Men. I could do a pull-up when I was like 10. It's really annoying sometimes when a ledge is just slightly too high to climb and you're there like jumping, trying to get up, or getting ass blasted by a Punisher. And this will really help with that. Before we get into my favorite part of the video, I promise we got some dope shit coming up. I just want to thank you all for sticking around for the vid so far. I really appreciate it. A little bit of engagement goes a long way for a little channel like mine, and I really want to build a strong community of passionate gamers and keep making better and better content for you all. Cyclops' ultimate is one of those abilities where I think it's pretty clear what players want. If I'm not pressing that alt button and wiping everything and anything that so much as fucking dares still be in my line of sight by the time it activates off the face of the planet, I'll be very disappointed. Visor off. Gain damage reduction for the duration of your ultimate and lift your visor to unleash a devastating beam of destructive energy, piercing and slowing enemies. Activate in air to hover in place. Look, I know it's the obvious answer, and probably everybody and their pet turtle could have thought of that. But that doesn't make it the wrong answer. Actually, going back and looking at a character we mentioned at the start of the video, Bebop's ultimate from Deadlock works very much how I would like to see Cyclops' ultimate work. Everything from the airtime you get when using it off the ground, the slowing effect, the fact that it's a giant fuck-off beam of energy, even the restricted turn speed you get. That's great for balance, but also adds weight to it, making it feel powerful. Don't get mad at me. Deadlock's just a really well-designed game. I'm an artist. That makes me a professional at stealing, or as we like to call it, taking inspiration. Remember how fragile you are as Cyclops. You're still very vulnerable to flankers or snipers, if not used wisely or with ample support, but the team wipes would go crazy. Now onto the team ups. Oh man, I love the team ups in this game. It's like when you were a kid and you'd think to yourself, oh man, imagine if Master Chief and Doomguy teamed up. How cool would that be? Fuck you, Microsoft. Team ups are something I'd love to see more of in the game, like, just keep adding them, even between existing characters. Let Mr. Fantastic use Iron Man to swing himself into combat, or let Squirrel Girl throw Hulk one of her giant acorns so he can smash it up and throw it like the Beast Titan. The team ups where you get a new ability are cool, like with Thor and Storm, but I really like the ones where you interact with each other so you can build synergy with your team and work together in the heat of combat. It's just more engaging and rewards teamwork. Like when Hulk hurls a Wolverine into your team, or when Rocket sits on Groot's shoulder. Fuck that shit though. But you get the general idea. That brings us onto our first of two team ups, Hero Summit. When paired with Captain America, give Cyclops the ability to shoot Captain's shield with Optic Blast. If Captain is actively blocking, reflect the beam and amplify its damage. These are the kind of team ups I want to see more of. Both players have something to gain, and it rewards both characters' playstyles. Cyclops, being so squishy, doesn't want to overextend and can use it to hit angles that may be too dangerous to peek. Plus he gets damage amp on his beam. And Captain America, whose sole playstyle seems to be sitting in the enemy backline, where he has the angles and the potential to get these game-changing kills, but lacks the damage output and the range to do so. Yes, it's kind of situational, but I don't think that's a bad thing. Maybe you lock eyes with a Captain America main at the perfect moment, and you have the exact same idea, and you use your team up to kill that last support, clutching up the game, and all 5 of your team up vote you and are telling you, you are him, you are that guy. Or, you know, he's a bronze player and he's watching funny Family Guy moments number 107 and listening to house music and completely ignores you. I'm feeling pretty good about Cyclops' kit right now. I think he has a distinct playstyle with clear strengths and weaknesses. The one thing about his kit I can't help but feel is missing is something representing his tactical genius, his team leading capabilities. He's the leader of the X-Men for a reason and chosen by Charles Xavier himself to lead them. And that dude is bold and in a wheelchair, so you know for a fact that he's pretty damn smart. That leads us to his last ability, to Me My X-Men. Create an AoE effect on the ground where Cyclops is standing, slightly increasing the cooldown rate of all X-Men in its radius and significantly increasing Blast Slide's regeneration rate. So far we have 5 X-Men mutants in the game that can make use of this ability: Wolverine, Storm, Psylocke, Magic, and Magneto, with hopefully more on the way. Indicated by a red glowing circle on the ground with a red X in the middle, this ability would encourage your team to tighten formation a bit and group up, maybe to hold a choke point or form a last stand on an objective. I feel like this team up represents those leadership traits we talked about nicely. It increases the efficiency of his team as a good leader should, and lets you take initiative of positioning, telling your team, hey, let's stand over here. But like mentioned earlier, it only affects other X-Men, and you'll need any 2 of the 5 X-Men mentioned earlier on his team to activate it, until we get more. If we ever see a day where it's viable to have a full 6 stack of X-Men, once we get some more Vanguards and Strategists, this team up would suddenly be really powerful, increasing cooldown reduction for your entire team. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it, our fully completed Cyclops concept. A glass cannon duelist that excels in horizontal movement and out-pressuring enemy teams with very high amounts of range damage, and an ultimate capable of shutting down an entire push and making enemies rush for cover and vaporizing those that don't. If I had to give him a difficulty rating, I'd probably say 3 stars, as he has a clear playstyle and is one of those heroes that'd probably be pretty easy to pick up but hard to master. I really hope you like the concept, and let me know if there's anything you would change about my interpretation of the character. Or if you have nothing to say about it and think my concept is perfect, tell me who you'd like to see me do a video on next. I have loads of videos planned for the future, not just on character concepts like this one, so if you like the vibe and love games, why don't you just press that subscribe button? I hope you enjoyed the video. Hours of free entertainment await you, just one button away. No one's threatening you, or it's completely up to you. You have full free will. Express your right to choose, fully, no pressure.